Deepti,
Welcome to your.
you're probably on mute. We can't hear you, Deepti.
No, you can hear me now. So that's the excitement that the theme of the day today brings, and I forget to put my microphone piece against my mouth. So, welcome and good morning to yet another fantastic Toastmasters meeting. And I say fantastic because of a number of reasons which will unfold as we progress into the meeting today. I am your Sergeant at Arms, Toastmaster Deepti, and today I will set the tone of the meeting. The tone of the meeting today is a little somber. It's a little filled with pride. It's a little filled with a vision for the future. The tone is all this and more because we are going to walk through the journey of none other than the Tatas, the mammoth name, the titans of our times. And we are privileged to have members of a club which is housed in the Tata Group. So we welcome everybody from not only the Leaders Connect and the storytellers, but also from TCS Maitri, the club that is a part of the Tata company called TCS. Thank you all for joining us on this beautiful morning. Before I proceed further, let me read out the mission statement of a Toastmasters Club. The mission of a Toastmasters Club is to provide a positive and supporting learning environment for members to develop leadership and communication skills, which can lead to increased self confidence and personal growth. With that, let me also speak out the basic ground rules that we'd all like to abide by in our online meeting. Rule number one, let's keep ourselves on mute when others are speaking, especially only except when you're called for. Rule number two, let's avoid topics like sex, religion, or politics, which might hurt the sentiments of others. And rule number three, let's turn on our videos, wear on our smiles, absorb the energy, and vibe with the tribe. With that, I would like to hand over the stage, the virtual stage today, to not one, not two, but three officials from three different clubs. I'd first like to invite the Leaders Connect presiding officer, Toastmaster Mohit, on the virtual podium to take the meeting forward.
Thank you, Toastmaster Deepti. I'm super excited to be a part of this special meeting where we pay an ode to none other than the Ratan of India, Ratan Tata. And I'm also equally excited to share the stage today with the presidents of two other wonderful clubs, including TCS Maitri. So let me first invite on stage the president of TCS Maitri Toastmasters Club, Toastmaster Abhijit, with a huge round of applause.
Yeah, hi everyone. Hello. Sorry for this a wonderful badly video, but yeah, I'm not in a position to in a proper way. But yeah, I'm so gladful to the LCTC Toastmasters because this was a special occasion for us because we know like we are based from Kolkata, and in Kolkata this is the time of festivities. So we are all kind of busy in our festive days. We are finding it very difficult to have a proper session. So I reached out to the Toastmaster Worldwide group that we want to collaborate with some club who are having an online session, and thankfully Toastmaster Mohit reached me out. So that was the beginning, and then later I got to know that the theme is directly colliding with our GM Tata. So I'm like really excited to yeah, hear about it. So like all the ways to all the role players and all the people. So I'm really looking forward to it. Thank you and over to you, Master Mohit.
Thank you, Toastmaster Abhijit. Like they say, the universe works together to bring us all together. So I'm equally looking forward to this wonderful meeting. And joining us is the president of Toastmasters Club of Storytellers, Toastmaster Diptendu.
Good morning, everyone. Uh, Welcome to yet another meeting. This is a joint venture between three clubs: Leaders Connect, Storytellers, and of course TCS Maitri. I am personally very happy to be seeing the members from TCS Maitri Toastmasters Club with us today. And of course, the theme for today's meeting is Ratan Tata, a topical subject that have been chosen for today. So I am really looking forward to the presentation by TMOT today, and I hope all of us are able to take something away from the life of Ratan Tata and, of course, from this particular Toastmasters meeting. Back to you, Toastmaster Mohit.
Thank you, Toastmaster Diptendu. And I'll need your and Abhijit's help to identify the guests in today's meeting. So let me do some finding out and see who all do we have as guests. We have Manoj. Hi, Manoj. Let's start with you. Do you like to share a bit about what brings you here today?
Yeah, hello. This is Manoj, former TCS Maitri Kolkata Toastmasters Club member. I'm in the train actually coming back to Kolkata from my hometown. I have reached Santragachi, so my net may get disconnected. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Okay. I think I highlighted there are two Manojs in the meeting today, and both are um okay. Manoj, one of those is from
This is
TCS.
Manoj Chaudhary, who I
Okay,
spoke.
okay.
Yes.
Wonderful having you, Manoj, and it's great that you're part of TCS Maitri Toastmasters. And thank you for joining. Let's go with the your namesake as well, the other Manoj. Manoj, yeah, please go ahead and introduce yourself and let us know what brings you here today.
Happy morning, each one of you. I'm here because of you're talking about the legendary Tata, Ratan Tata. I'm part of Chalk and Duster Online Club. We generally meet Saturday evening, and today being free on a Sunday, I'm here with you all. Thank you.
Wonderful. Round of applause for Manoj. And I really find your club name very interesting. Chalk and Dust. Okay. All right. We also have some guests joining us, I believe, from a school. Let's see if we can get them seen here. Colonel Prem, is it right that we have some folks joining from your school today? Colonel Prem, can you hear me? Okay, while we are waiting for Colonel Prem, let's continue. And I will now probably need help from Diptendu and Abhijit to identify the guests. Vinay, are you a guest or already a member of one of the three clubs?
Mohit, Vinay is a guest today.
Yeah, yes,
Yeah,
Mo.
please go ahead.
Yeah, yes,
Okay,
Mohit. I'm a part of Storytellers. I recently joined.
okay, that's great, Vinay.
Yeah,
Okay,
and
wonderful.
this is my first meeting actually.
Yeah, so
Okay,
Vinay
awesome.
has joined us as a guest in Storytellers, and and he's experiencing an online Toastmasters club today. So that's his
Okay,
first formal
welcome.
meeting. Yes.
Welcome, Vinay. We'll really look forward to hearing your feedback once the meeting is over.
Yeah, yeah, sure, Mohit.
Okay, and I also see um, Rupal. Rupal, are you a member or a guest? Do you like to introduce yourself?
Good morning, all of you. I joined as a guest, and today, because the topic related to leadership, learning from none other than Mr. Ratan Tata, and that is excited me to pull this into this meeting. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to tell about me.
Welcome, Rupal. We are very happy to have you join us today. Okay, is there any other guest in the meeting who would like to come forward and introduce themselves?
Hello, everybody. My name is Subhadra. I'm a member of All Women's and Entrepreneurs. The club is in District 121. As everyone has pointed out, I have seen this post in World Toastmasters Club's one WhatsApp group. So, and the topic was really extremely interesting, and especially when it said storytellers. So, I would listen to many stories, I thought. So, I just joined. Thank you so much. Over to you.
Thank you, Subhadra. Welcome. And so glad you have joined us. And your club is also equally interesting. It's women entrepreneurs. Okay, that's wonderful. Coincidentally, it was the Ada Lovelace Day last week. I don't know how many of you know about Ada Lovelace. She was the first computer programmer, and every year her birthday is celebrated as Ada Lovelace Day to celebrate women and to celebrate the innovation and everything that women bring in. So, congratulations for this wonderful initiative on your side, and thank you for joining us, Subhadra. Okay, with that, I think we are all set to move into the next segment of our meeting. And for that, I would like to once again invite our Toastmaster of the day, who is Toastmaster Deepti Sahani, with a huge round of applause.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Mohit. I'll also request for co-host rights. And while you give me the co-host rights, I'd like to tell you that today the theme is so big that my tiny shoulders will not be able to do justice. And for that, I'd invite a lot of people. We'll have a lot of conversation, share a lot of stories around whatever we are talking today. Well, what is the culture of a company? The culture of a company always comes from the top. It is the tone that is set by the person who's sitting at the top, his life, his integrity, his values, values that he can impose or share with others and follow himself, lead by example. In words of Sir Ratan Naval Tata, he says that if you need to go home at night, you need to say to yourself, I didn't scum. Well, that sets the tone of an organization, and an organization as big as the Tata Group itself. Well, the tone was not set in the era of Sir Ratan Naval Tata. It was set much before that, when Jamshedji Tata started his journey with a mere meager 21,000 rupees at the age of 29. That's when the first Tata project was put to foundation. The Tata Group, as it stands today, has, has its core values in place. We will talk about the core values, share stories, and draw leadership lessons from those core values. But before we delve into those details, let me explain you the structure of a typical Toastmasters meeting. A typical Toastmasters meeting is divided into three sections. The first section is that of prepared speeches, where a speaker will be prepared with an objective and present a speech which demonstrates the objective that they are set to cover, which is, of course, based on a pathway or a learning curriculum. So we have one speech today, and we look forward to hearing the speech in the prepared speeches section. The second segment is that of impromptu speaking. That is a heart-throbbing section where volunteers are given a random topic. They have to speak on the spot for at least 1 to 2 minutes. And then They challenge themselves in that time. And the third is our evaluation section. The evaluation section is sacred to Toastmasters. It is in this section that the prepared speaker, the other supporting evaluators bring out the best in us. They share feedback from a lot of perspectives. They share feedback about our grammar, about the time we took to speak, and a lot more. Why should I explain the role? Let me call upon our general evaluator for today. Our general evaluator for today is none other than Toastmaster Chintan. Let us welcome him on the virtual podium with a huge round of applause.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Dipti. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. As we gather today to give an ode to a wonderful leader, someone who has lived and would live on forever in our hearts, it's time for us also to collaborate and make this a memorable meeting. And we can't do it alone. As Tata Group set an example that it has to be a team who works together in tandem for the mission. And our mission is to set a meeting and execute in a way that everyone feels the quality of a meeting. And for that, we have a team called TAG team that stands for timer, R counter, and grammarian. And to explain their role in the meeting, to carry out the mission of having quality execution, let me welcome on the stage the counter and grammarian of the day, Toastmaster Ashish. Due to some reason, we could not able to have timer and the role is open. So if anyone wishes to volunteer for a role of timer, and I can immediately see Toastmaster Diptendu messaging that he can play. So huge round of applause for Toastmaster Diptendu for taking up the role instantly. And let's hear from Toastmaster Ashish Agarwal for his role of an counter and grammarian, who is a dynamic Toastmaster, a part of Eloquent Toastmasters Club, and has been an inspirational leader himself. And more to him and from him, let's hear from Ashish himself. Over to you.
Thank you, Journal Evaluator, for that lovely introduction. The words which are very kind, and I don't know how much I can live up to, but I'll try my level best. Today, I'm playing the role of your language evaluator. Anthony Robbins said it beautifully. The quality of our life depends upon quality of our communication. And today, in this group, I am going to focus on all the aspects of communication, be it your words, be it your pauses or gestures, and be it your body language or be it your voice. So first, when it comes to words, we know grammar play a very, very important role. And we have to follow the rules of the grammar. Each language has a certain rules in place. And if we do not follow the rules, the impact of our message goes down. Likewise, I'll be noting all the good usages. Already we have quite a few in first 10 odd minutes. And wait for my report as I'll share towards the end all the good usages in areas which we can work on towards improvement. As part of my grammarian role, I'll be giving you the word of the day and the phrase of the day also. Since the motto of the meeting and the theme of the meeting is Mr. Ratan Tata, the towering figure of humility, I thought no better word can describe today's word of the day, and that is humility. So today, with all humility, I am here attending this amazing meeting and looking forward to it. And whenever anybody use this word, the meaning is pretty simple. Of course, people who are down to earth, as Mr. Ratan Tata always was. So whenever anybody uses the word of the day, what all of us have to do is to give a thumbs up, either physical or virtual, and encourage the person for the usage. Likewise, the idiom of the day I have chosen is also resonating with the spirit of Tatas, and that is the sky is the limit. Indeed, the group has shown us how the sky is the limit for Indians who have the courage, who have the the humility as well as courage to go for it and make it happen. And the sky is indeed the limit. So the idiom is sky is the limit. That is indeed the whenever we put our efforts, we have the sky as the limit to the results. So likewise, anybody using the idiom of the day, please give a thumbs up to encourage the person. As a part of my second role, I'll be also observing the pauses or the filler word, which we all use sometimes in order to give ourselves a little bit of time to think. And the input or a tip to all of you, that whenever you are doing the thinking, take a pause instead of using the filler word. So instead of saying, etc., take a pause. And towards the end of the meeting, when called upon by journal evaluator, I'll be sharing my grammarian report as well as my accountant report. Back to you, journal evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ashish, for explaining your role to the T. And as we discussed that our mission is to have the best quality meeting, and it's not possible only by the team of role players. It's required the engagement, the conversation from the audience members. And one way you can do it is just by opening your cameras. We would love to see you smile, nod, and interact with us so that we also can feel the energy and we also enjoy the meeting equally as you are. So may I request everyone to turn on your camera, and maybe we have 10 seconds to do so. In the meanwhile, may I request a timer of the day who taken the role impromptu, one of the finest storyteller I have seen, someone who's humble and has a quality of humility, Toastmaster Diptendu, to please explain your role as a timer for the meeting today. Over to you, Diptendu.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Chintan. And I'm truly honored by the words that you have just spoken for me. So I am going to be playing the role of timer today. Let us say, for example, Toastmaster Soumya, who is in the meeting today, Soumya and I have met for the first time and we spent 1 hour with each other. We have been allocated 1 hour, say, for a coffee or a tea interaction over coffee or tea. In that 1 hour, Soumya and I could actually know each other deeply, or at least know one important thing about each other. Or we could spend 1 hour talking about fluff, things which are superficial and don't really matter. So it is up to us on how we utilize our time. As you know, that as table topic speaker, you will have 1 to 2 minutes to deliver a talk. 1 minute on the lower end, 2 minutes on the upper end. In fact, 30 seconds of grace period or above 2 minute mark as well. So in those 1 to 2.5 minutes, how much value can you add? Can we get to know you a little better as the audience? Can you convey your message with a lot of clarity in those 1 to 2.5 minutes? Is up to you. So make judicious use of that time. Also, as a prepared speaker, you will typically have 5 to 7 minutes to speak, with a 30-second of grace period on the lower and upper end. And you know that, say, when you are traveling with your siblings and you have been living with them for years and years and you just don't want to spend time with them, but then when you meet someone, say, a romantic interest in, the time just flies by and you just don't want it to end. So let your speech be like that new potential romantic partner, so that we just feel like so that we feel like listening to you over and over and over again. I hope your speech turns out to be that way. And as far as evaluators is concerned, we are going to have an evaluation by Toastmaster Mohit. As I can see, 2 to 3 minutes is going to be the time duration. 2 minutes, in fact, 30 seconds of grace period on both the lower and upper end. So you would be able to see a change in my background. I would request the host, the admin, to pin me as well when the speeches are going on. You can see that my background is right now green, and then it'll turn to yellow and red. So you would know that at 1 minute mark for table topic it would be green, it would be yellow at 1 minute 30-second mark, and red at 2 minute mark. Similarly for prepared speeches, green at 5 minute mark, yellow at 6 minute mark, and red at 7 minute mark. For speech evaluation, it would be green at 2 minute mark, and yellow at 2 minute 30-second mark, and red at 3 minute mark. So Soumya, I really hope to get to know you a little better through your speech evaluation today, and I hope all of us are able to gather something from today's meeting. So let's put in our best effort. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Diptendu, for explaining your role in such an effective manner. And let's not wait more. We will be back in our evaluation section, which is the last section of today, explaining you what we had done good and what we could improve in the future meetings. Meanwhile, let's hear it from Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Dipti Sani, as she is going to give an ode to the odyssey of an inspirational leader who is and who will be the beacon of hope, humility, and integrity for everyone in this life. So over to you, Toastmaster Deepti.
Thank you so much, Chintan. Well, this was a heavyweight topic, and being a topic of such magnitude, I also feel a lot of weight on my shoulders. And for the last 2.5 days, ever since I've been brewing on what to cover in this topic, the more videos I watched, the more I read, the more I grew fond of not only the individuals at the top, but also of the group as a whole. Let me share with you my personal story. I've been a proud employee of Tata, of TCS. It was way back in the year 2006 when I had gotten just about married, 6 months after my married. I decided, and lo and behold, the orientation program in itself brings in the flavor of the group. There's a video that they show in your orientation program which tells you that how Tata is a part of your life from the moment you wake up through the moment you turn off your lights and you go to bed again. I wish if there was an opportunity to share that video with everybody. I tried to look for it, but really couldn't find one. Nonetheless, we'll have numerous stories, not only about Sir Ratan Naval Tata, but also about Sir J.R.D. Tata and the predecessors, which will take you through a journey of what value system did the Tatas or do the Tatas have, carry forward, and will carry forward in their journeys ahead. Well, the first core value of the Tata Group is integrity. Integrity, simply put, means do what you say what you do. In all fairness, in all honesty, with a lot of transparency. Let me share the story of Tata Tea Company with you. Well, the Tata Tea Company was under a lot of troubles in the year 2004. It is said that at that time, the top officials of the Tata Tea Company were caught in an act of misappropriate behavior by giving some alumni or some tokens to a militant group in Assam. Now, as soon as this was reported, what was the action taken? Integrity is the core value, honesty at its forefront. Well, the company opened its door to full support for the investigating agencies. This they did for the outside world, for everybody else to take note that we are not shying away from bearing ourselves open. And on the inside, they took strict actions against the officials who were involved in misappropriate behavior. That is honesty. Humility comes tied strongly with the integrity. Did you know that Sir Ratan Naval Tata always boarded the front seat of his car along with his driver wherever he wanted to go? Have there's a difference between making money for yourself and creating wealth for others. What do you think has been done over the years by the Tata Group titans, whether it was Sir Jamshedji Tata or Sir J.R.D. Tata or Sir Ratan Tata. Is it creating wealth or is it making money for themselves? Interestingly, we have a lot of cases in point where we can see the flaunting wealth of the pioneering groups of India. In very recent times, show of weddings and airlines. If I would want to take names, maybe the show off during Vijay Mallya time and others. There are lots of numerous examples. But have anybody ever observed a show off from the Tata Group? Never ever. Not that they did not have passion. Everybody knows the love that Sir J.R.D. Tata and Sir Ratan Tata shared for flying. They instituted the first flying club in India, in Jamshedpur, right? But have they ever flaunted their love in media across? Never. They've always had a passion and love for cars. What brought Jaguar to India? It was the love and passion for automobiles. But have you ever seen them flashing, standing in front of a Jaguar? Never. That's the humility. I also read about Sir J.R.D. Tata, where when he was being felicitated for being conferred with Bharat Ratna Award, he addressed his Tata mates and friends as friends. And then he quickly added on to say that I should rather say my Tata children. That's the humility that floats around in the Tata Group. With humility comes empathy and kindness. So, the leadership lesson for all of us to take away today from the humility and the core value of integrity is empathy. Good leaders empathize, they are kind, no matter what. With that, we'll come to the other values of the Tata Group. But before that, let us have our first speaker on board. Our first speaker, in fact, our lone speaker for today, is Mohit Sahni. Let us do a quick audio video check for you, Mohit. What will be your speaking position?
Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible. Let me.
Mohit,
Right.
You can move the chair. Chair, I think, would come
Out
your
of your
way.
stage area.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Mohit. And before I invite Mohit to speak or share his speech, I'd like to invite his evaluator, Toastmaster Soumya, to please share the objectives of Mohit's speech today.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster of the Day. The speaker would be giving his level 2, project 2 in the presentation mastery pathways. The purpose of the project is for the member to deliver a speech with awareness of intentional and unintentional body language, as well as to learn, practice, and refine how he uses his non-verbal communication while delivering a speech. Timer, please note, the speech timing is 5 to 7 minutes, and I wish all the very best to the speaker. Over to you, Madam Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Soumya. So Mohit, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
The sixth sick shakes, sixth sheep sick. Toastmaster Mohit. Toastmaster Mohit. The sixth sick shakes, sixth sheep sick.
It's 1:30 p.m. and I have a meeting at 2. I was supposed to prepare ideas for how to elevate the Gurugram teams in front of the global corporate office forums. And it has been one full week and I haven't got the time to prepare at all. I'm completely clueless. What am I going to do at the 2 p.m. meeting? I asked my wife, what do I do? And she gave me a very nice advice. I think you should have lunch because you know what? Getting reprimanded on an empty stomach is really bad. Thank you very much. Now, have you ever been in a situation where the time is crunched, you are in a chaos, and it's almost like a mini crisis? How do you deal with that? I didn't have any idea about that, but then I recalled the episode from the previous evening. I had entered home to see that my kids were playing. They were laughing and chirpily dancing around, and they were playing the game of tongue twisters. Yes, tongue twisters. They were trying it out, failing, but enjoying it all. It was all okay, but then suddenly my little one asks me, Papa, do you want to give it a try? Me? And tongue twisters? Not even once in the past have I been able to do well in tongue twisters. So, hastily and somewhat thinking that what was I said, okay, let it come. The first one was the she sells seashells on the seashore. She sells seashells on the seashore. She sells seashells on the seashore. I got it right the first time. Kids were surprised. Then the challenge was increased. This time around, I got one that I had never heard before. The sixth thick shakes, sixth sheep sick. The sixth sick shakes, sixth sheep sick. The sixth sick shakes, sixth sheep sick. Oh my God. The kids were like, wow, Papa. And I was collars up at that time, but I was in the back of my mind thinking, how on earth did I get it right this time? That evening, I sat down to journal. I wanted to know why I was able to do it this time around when I have never been able to do it before. So, the first thing that I found out was that I was calm. I was completely calm in the situation. It's easier said than done, though. We all know that we need to be calm, but how do we do that? The CEO of Bookings Incorporation says that the way to practice calmness is to put yourself in a crisis situation every other day. And at Toastmasters, isn't that what we practice? When we are given a table topic to speak upon impromptu, it's practicing responding to a mini chaos, a mini crisis, isn't it? Maybe that helped me. Then I thought further and I realized that I had a mindset of play. A play mindset is different from a fearful mindset. Constantly, our brain is thinking about two things: threat and reward. Threat and reward. And in that situation, when you are with your kids, you don't have any threat, you don't have any fear of losing, So I was in a play mindset. What if we can bring that mindset to our real life situations as well? And thirdly, and perhaps even more importantly, I was visualizing the problem. Yes, visualizing the problem and not the solution. It's very easy for us to visualize the solutions, but that doesn't help us. Why? Because we don't have the solutions at hand. But visualizing the problem will get us there. Now, with this newfound knowledge, it's 1:40 p.m. and I still have that meeting. I try to apply those principles. I become calm and composed. I try to bring in the play element. I gave a call to a few folks and asked them, hey, which is the top of mind initiative that is running according to you? I have a few inputs. Then I visualize the problem. And I have not one, but several solutions to bring on board for that meeting. I create a story out of an initiative which has already been running and has been gaining ground but has gone unnoticed. And voila, that meeting was perhaps the best ever meeting that I ever had. Friends, it is said that a boat in the calm waters can always float steady. There's no fun in that, there's no learning in that. But the ship that succeeds in troubled waters is the one that is exemplary. So, next time when you are in a situation when you feel chaos, complexity, and a crisis, remember the three things: practice calmness, bring play in your mindset, and visualize the problem. And that way, you will emerge as a hero. Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Mohit, for giving us a mini mantra: staying calm, make it play, and focus on the problem. Thank you for that mini mantra. I would encourage everybody to share their feedback or their thoughts about Toastmaster Mohit's speech on the chat window. Timer, please note, let us give 1 minute to everybody, and you can call out once 1 minute is done. All right. As you're getting numerous lovely feedback, Toastmaster Mohit, I will continue with the theme of the day. Let us talk about the second core value, responsibility. Responsibility is about people. What comes from people needs to go back to people. Haven't all of us heard about the numerous trusts that the Tata Group has? They're a way of giving back to the society, to the people who are invested in the growth of the company at large or the group at large. Let me tell you, way back when Jamshedji Tata bought an old mill to convert it into a textile mill, that's when he also realized that people who are around that mill and are making it work need a basic medical facility. So before the mill was up and running, there was a hospital instituted in the same area. That is an example of giving back to the society. At this point in time, I also remember that when I was a part of TCS, there were numerous CSR initiatives that would always be running in the company. May I invite Abhijit or Soumya, if you would like to share any personal story about a CSR initiative that you would have participated in?
Uh, See, I've been with TCS for the last 15 years and I have a total experience of 25 years. This is my fifth job. So I can very proudly say the CSR initiatives are ingrained in the DNA of the organization, of the entire group. And I worked in the previous organization before joining TCS for 7 years. So that's a long time, and this is an MNC financial bank which has presence worldwide. I would say the amount of CSR activities which I did in those 7 years would be counted in my fingers. But the amount of CSR activities which I have been personally involved, and you have the TCS Maitri, and we are part of the Toastmasters Club under the Maitri umbrella. They have calendar which has more than 15, 20 activities in a month. And that is discussed, and it is now called Hope. That is hours of um, you know employee engagement. I'm not getting the full acronym, but hours of employee engagement, giving back to the society. And not only that, at a personal level, I support 8 to 10 NGOs, and it comes with the organization because you are so much involved in uplifting the people who are underprivileged that you want to do more. Not only what the organization does, but at a personal level also you do it. So it gets ingrained in you. And I really feel very honored and very proud that we give back to the society.
Absolutely. Absolutely. In fact, here I'd like to share some stats that I found, Soumya, that 66% of the stakes are with Tata Trusts, and they believe in giving back, whether it was through the pandemic or it was through or it is for digital literacy, it's for art and culture, water mission, rural India, you name it, and they do it. So that's the kind of philanthropy or the big heart that this group has. And at a very small or a low level, if I say at my level, all the years when I was with TCS, I remember that CSR initiatives never felt as if you were doing something out of your work or away from your work. There are a lot of times I've changed multiple companies too, and a lot of times it feels like you have a responsibility, an additional responsibility that you need to execute, and it's like a tick off your checklist. But while I was in that company, it never felt that way. It was always a part of what we did as a daily activity, if not more. What I'd like to also share when we talk about responsibility is that as much as the Tata Groups believes in taking on responsibility, it also feels that it is responsible to share their work culture um, through stories. So storytelling in itself is um, is a major epitome of nurturing the culture in the Tata Group. Um, I don't know how many of you know, but there are Amar Chitra Kathas, the comic books that tell stories about success and failures of the Tata Group in equal light. That's the way to reach to the youngest generation of the company. They have a Tata Code of Conduct, which you need to sign when you join as an employee. And another thing, small things matter much, is what I will say. I have my relieving letter. I searched for it this morning. The relieving letter said something like this: with great regret, we accept your resignation submitted on July 9th, 2010, and you will be relieved from the services by August 29th, 2010. Now, which company will give you a relieving letter which says with great regret? I haven't seen it ever in any other company. And that calls for a salute to the Tata Group. Let's move on to the next core value. The next core value is about excellence. And excellence comes from consistent passion. Don't you all agree? Now, talking about consistent passion, I have numerous stories. The first company that comes to your mind, which was born out of sheer passion, was Tata Steel. Let me show a video to you. Here you go.
आशा की ज्योति जगाते हैं, कंधे से कंधा मिलाते हैं, कामयाबी की दिशा में जाते हैं, सभी धर्मों को साथ लाते हैं, इसे हम बनाते हैं।
A question for all of you. What stood out in that ad? Anybody? Welcome to sharing your thoughts.
So this sense of bonhomie, a sense of fellow feeling for all people, the common man.
Yes, Manoj, absolutely. Connecting with the common man. What else?
At
I
the
also
end, it
thought,
also gave a message that they unite the religions.
Yes, they reunite the religions. Absolutely, Chintan.
Integrity. Integrity.
Yes, that's true. Integrity. That's it. That's their core value number one. And with all this, while they're in rural India, they're talking of bonding, they're talking of making India proud. Yes, Nisha, you want to
Yeah,
share
yeah. I also
something?
thought that a person was running towards the goal post, so reaching
Hmm?
excellence, winning at test well.
Absolutely, absolutely. Very well read. And with all this, they also make steel. Now, do you realize the ad is about Tata Steel, right? They say we all this, and then we also make steel. Look at the humility. We will do all this, but also make steel for India. And we'll do it with passion. Now, the making or setting up of the Tata Steel Company wasn't an easy task. It was a task full of constraints. So this happened with Jamshedji Tata. The story goes something like this: that Jamshedji Tata was friends with Mr. Kennedy in US, Julian Kennedy. When they met, Jamshedji brought forth his idea in India, which seemed a Herculean task. Julian Kennedy pondered over the passion with which Jamshedji Tata went to him, and then claimed, or rather suggested, that the only man who can help you bring steel to India is a man by the last name called Perrin, Charles Perrin, if I am not wrong, right? He can help you because he is a wonderful technologist and he can help you bring steel to India. So Jamshedji Tata walked up to Manchester to the office of the gentleman. The passion with which Jamshedji Tata approached Perrin recalls in his write ups or in his documentation. He says, while I saw the passion or the fire to set up the steel plant in India in Jamshedji's eyes, I also saw a kind request, the collaboration or the the amalgamation of kindness and passion is what drew my heart towards India. And he traveled all over the world, across the globe, for a man who was garbed in a weird Parsi headgear and a weird gown. But he did it all because he saw the passion and the request or the kindness with which he was approached. That is what made Tata Steel possible. Closer to our times, there are stories of more passion. What do you think brought Tata Indica into its action? Or, for that matter, Nano. Yes, Diptendu, that's right. Nano. How many of you know the story of how Nano was conceived? Somebody who's not yet spoken? Okay. Nisha says make in India. Yes. Anybody else wanting to share a story?
I heard that Mr. Ratan Tata was in traffic and he had a look at his side, a family of people driving in a two-wheeler with very difficulty with two children and wife and husband. And he thought we should solve their problem. And from that thought, Nano came out. This is what I heard from his story.
Absolutely, Shravan. Absolutely. Brilliant. Point on. That's the story. When Sir Ratan Tata actually caught in traffic, saw a family of four sitting on a two-wheeler and managing with great difficulty, that's when the idea of a covered roof on a small three-wheeler car or a four-wheeler car took birth in his mind, and he made it possible. So the nano project was initially supposed to be set up in Bengal, but due to some political issues, it had to be stopped there. But Ratan Tata did not stop. He moved the base for that project back to Gujarat, got it executed, and put it on the floor. He did it because he was passionate about it. That is what shows consistent passion. Another example of passion or a project is the recent acquisition of the airlines. Well, that was an emotional decision and which took to fruition in times of Sir Ratan Naval Tata. Yes, Mohit, you wanted to share something?
Yeah, I wanted to just add, since we were talking about cars, so Sir Ratan Tata's vision was to create a car for the entire spectrum, whereas Nano was on this end. He acquired the Land Rover and Jaguar, which was on the other end of the spectrum. So this vision of a man is worth appreciating.
Absolutely. Thank you for bringing that on. In fact, if you look up for adjectives to describe this man or um, this uh, this man of the Tata group, then there are adjectives like a trailblazer, a futurist, the titan, the beacon. All these words, in fact, fall short of the mammoth work that he's done for others. In fact, the Tata Group has always looked for a purpose which is bigger than the organization. They have always looked for doing something which is for the nation. Um, let me let me show you one quick ad, and I will ask you, what is it that you observe there? Did I share the sound? Let me reshare. Yes. Here you go.
टाटा नमक देश का नमक टाटा नमक देश का नमक
All right, question for everybody. What stands out in this ad?
Actually, salt is represented as a faith in religiously, faith and salt as a relation. So uh, even I believe that if we are eating the salt of something, we should be faithful to that source. So that is how I interpret this ad.
That's a beautiful perspective, Shravan. Totally, salt is associated with faith, with removing evil, negativity, all that. That's true. That's a beautiful perspective. Yes, Nisha.
I also thought that it is a child born. I mean, I could see that it's a pregnant gesture or something like that, so that it
Yeah.
is born and it is given to the nation.
Yes,
Something like
that's
that.
right.
I could,
Yes,
okay.
Nisha, that's right. So, what I would like to bring out here is that the ad is about iodizing salt. How much is a salt packet for? 20, 25 rupees. But the branding is Desh ka namak, salt for the country. The purpose is larger. You remember there was an ad which said Desh ko banana hai. We just saw it. Tata Steel. We need to make the country. देश को जगाना है. We have to wake up the country, wake it up from corruption. But how? Khilao mat pilao. Don't feed them, make them drink Tata tea. So the focus was always bigger. The purpose was always bigger. It was always focused towards the nation. Chintan, I saw a raise of hand.
Thank you so much. I just wanted to share something clicked when you were talking about Nano and when we were discussing the ads. And in terms of brand storytelling, what something stands out for Tata Group, it's always been associated with India. Whenever there is Tata Group, there is a perspective of India. But we somehow as a society failed the Nano brand. And somehow the marketeers also failed by calling it the cheapest car. So if would have been branded as the India's first car or India's car, I believe it would have been a hit rather than what people saw it as an inferior cheapest car. So that's what I saw, that there's a gap between branding of the
Absolutely.
entire industry of Tata,
Absolutely.
and Nano is an isolated case which failed due to that branding.
Well, thank you, Chintan, for bringing that at point, because that also takes me to the fourth core value called pioneering of the Tata Group. Because when we talk about pioneering, we talk about a pioneering spirit, which basically means that they've always been agile, they've always had the courage to take on challenges and to accept a failed or failure or a failed um, project. Tata Nano, they actually acknowledged that it did not turn out the way they were. In fact, I was watching one of the old interviews, a 2008 interview of Sir Ratan Tata, where he gets emotional when talking about Nano because it is so close to being his dream project. But that doesn't deter them. The story of Tanishq, did you guys know that Tanishq was conceptualized as a jewelry brand where they wanted to um, take the contemporary designs from outside, okay, and the workmanship or the craftsmanship from the Indian subcontinent and create a new brand for the world. That is what they wanted to do. They launched it. But in the initial um, months, what happened was that Tanishq failed miserably due to multiple reasons. And in the Indian market, when they tried to redirect to the Indian market, it again failed. Why? Because India, as a culture, whether it's up north, south, east, west, when we look at jewelry, we think of big, heavy set designs in gold or diamond or polki. Now, small, contemporary, smart office wearing did not gel with India at that time. So that is when they realized their mistake, they reevaluated their project, and they shifted gears. Yes, thank you for that beautiful chat tip, Rupal. 110 innovation patents got registered in Nano because there were a lot of innovations that were happening in bringing out that small car. So it had to be lightweight, it had to be sturdy, it had to pass all the tests for crashes or for failures at the last moment. All safety norms had to be followed. So these are stories of the Tatas taking on challenges. In fact, so much so that when nobody else takes on a challenge, the Tata groups raise their hand. Well, there'll be a lot of more stories on the other side of the next segment. The next segment is a table topics segment. And today we have none other than Toastmaster Diptendu playing up as our table topic master. I welcome you to the virtual podium, Toastmaster Diptendu.
Thank you, Madam TMOD. So, I think it was Ratan Tata who said that we are not businessmen, we are industrialists. So that little term brings out the subtle difference between the mindset of Ratan Tata vis-a-vis other big business houses in India. And there is a famous American sitcom by the name of Suits, which centers around corporate law. Now, today in the table topic session, I'd like to throw in front of you some quotes from from that particular show, Suits, and I invite you on the virtual stage to share your take on the topic, on the statement that I give to you. So let your imagination run wild. You don't have to stick to a formula. You just have to share what comes into your mind when you hear the phrase that I speak. And of course, guests who are not a part of Toastmasters as such, I encourage them to take the virtual stage and give it a shot. But first up, I'd request an experienced Toastmaster or someone who has experience with table topics at least to come onto the virtual stage. So Chintan, it's going to be Chintan first up. All right, and I would simultaneously be also keeping track of time. All right, I can see many raised hands, so I think I should also change the view on my screen. Just give me a moment. It has to be gallery view so that I can see all the raised hands. It's going to be Chintan first. Chintan, the statement for you is let them hate, just make sure they spell your name right. I'll repeat. Let them hate, just make sure they spell your name right. Toastmaster Chintan.
I was a failure until I turned 18 because I wanted to succeed like everyone around me, getting everything they wanted. And I was crying in the corner of my room, whining about my life. And then I started to have a dream. And suddenly, people who were with me started to show their true colors. Even recently, I started my own venture and I saw the people who were standing with me shoulder to shoulder started to go out of the circle because I was moving ahead. Maybe I made a mistake by saying something in a moment which might not have been told, but it's not the reason to go away. I have been a person who always chase perfection, knowing that it won't be achieved. But in that moment, I missed so many connections. And I'm happy because it gave me the right people to look for and to stay with. And those who are hating me, I give more and more reasons to hate me because I make sure they don't only remember my name, they remember my name, middle name, and my surname. That Chintan NP Sheth is someone they should have been with and they left. Because I want to see them feel jealous because that is one of the best moment I'm having. And that propels me to go towards my dreams and my goals, to see them feel the pain that we left the right person behind. And believe me, when I'll go to the dreams which I want, I'll invite them all in the party and they will have to come and they will be like the old friends because once you become successful, the attachment comes back. So make sure you have the haters, but they remember your name. Over to you.
That was great. And at Toastmaster, we have a really positive atmosphere. We encourage each other. But the fact of the matter is, we can practice human rights only till the point it doesn't come to our own survival. But in the practical world, it is cutthroat competition. So yeah, appreciate Toastmaster Chintan for really bearing it all and speaking to the point, the topic that was given to him. Appreciate it. All right, we'll move on now. And who would like to take the next one? I can see many hands raised: Manoj, Nisha, Shravan Kumar, and guest Karthik, as well as Soumya. So I'll just start from the left of my screen. I'm going to first start with Manoj. Manoj, are you up for it?
Yes.
All right, Manoj. The topic for you is sometimes good guys got to do bad things to make the bad guys pay. I'll repeat. Sometimes good guys got to do bad things to make the bad guys pay. Manoj.
Happy morning, each one of you. Let me take you back. If possible, was the commandant of a training establishment. People talked about him. Why? Because people are jealous of him. They brought in a lot of allegation against him. But ultimately, they all fell flat. The person, when a general election takes place for the first time, East Pakistan, West Pakistan. And then somebody from East Pakistan wins the election. The West Pakistan cannot digest it. They unleash the armed forces to quell the uproar. The large scale people coming inside India. The Prime Minister of India takes a parliamentary committee, seated over there. The Iron Lady says, let's launch an attack to stop all this. No one dared to speak when the Iron Lady spoke. But the general in the crowd says, no, no, madam, we are not ready. If you want, I can put up my resignation, but I am not ready to launch this attack. Not that easy. A general officer speaking to the Prime Minister of India, but we don't want 1962 to be repeated. He became a bad man. But somehow, the lady understood when he gave out the reasons. And for all of us to see the result of 1971, within a matter of 14 days, a new nation was carved out without much collateral damage. When I talk about that person, he can be placed on the same pedestal of that of Ratan Tata and the missile man APJ Abdul Kalam. Here, Field Master.
That was a great take, Manoj. And again, referring to the show Suits, in that show, there was a statement by one of the characters wherein the character said that it is not important to take adverse action against an enemy, just threaten with adverse action. Because that now, if the reaction itself highlights or brings forth the true colors of your enemy, the enemy would get defeated. So a lot of interesting takes or a lot of interesting philosophies have been shared in the show Suits, and one purpose of having a table topics based on that show is it really makes us think about the situations that we have faced in life, and we continue. I'm going to now invite a guest on stage, Nisha or Shravan Kumar. I can have these three. All right, I'm going to go with Karthik first, and then I'll move to Shravan and Nisha. All right, Karthik,
Yeah,
are you ready
okay.
for it? Okay. Karthik, the statement for you is winners don't make excuses when the other side plays the game. I'll repeat. Winners don't make excuses when the other side plays the game. My guest, Karthik.
To organize my thoughts. Thank you, Toastmaster Diptendu, for giving me such a wonderful question. Winners don't make excuses. That is clearly a fact. It's a cliche, I would say, that winners take responsibilities, whatever situation they are in. They never take a step back, no matter what the situation. You pull person in any field, whether it's sports, it's in business, in corporate, you pick any person at the top of the ladder, and you will find them taking responsibility for everything that is going wrong in their life and trying to make correction in it. For example, we are here to improve our communication skills. A lot of us started as a beginner and now moved to intermediate or advanced stage. We took responsibility that we are not so good enough. We have something to improve upon responsibility rather than making excuses that I am not a social person. I don't interact much with people. This is not my cup of tea. You can completely transform yourself if you want to. You can completely become a different person if you want to. And that's all from my side. Over to you, Table Topic Master.
Chintan, Karthik, that was great actually. So you hit the nail on the head. Imagine we are all here at Toastmasters trying to improve our communication skills. Say Toastmaster Mohit and I, we know each other. I learn something from Mohit. All right, Mohit, I start using it, I master it, and I become better at it than Mohit. And then Mohit thinks that hey, Deeptendu is using my technique. He's such a loser. He can't come up with anything originally. He's just copying things from others. Now, what if Mohit just keeps sulking on it? Would it do Mohit any good? No. Mohit would then go ahead and find out more storytelling tricks and start imbibing them in his own presentation and raise his bar, raise his game even to an even higher level. So winners don't make excuses when the other side plays the game, and that is so true in Toastmasters and in every aspect of life. All right, we'll move on now to Shravan, and Karthik took this much time, and I'm going to share that during my report. So Shravan, are you ready?
Yes, Deepen.
Shravan, the topic for you is don't play the odds, play the man. I'll repeat, don't play the odds, play the man.
Don't play the odds, play the
Man.
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 Let me understand the essence of that idiom. Yeah. So in life, everybody gets an opportunity to do a good work, but we always try to listen to our mind instead of our intellect. When we listen to our mind, there is a chance to play with odds. But if you start listening to your intellect, it's called buddhi in Sanskrit, then we will go in a right path. But our human mind is wired, always try to manipulate with our mind. It happens in everyone's life. At one particular point, you have to take a decision, either right or left. But our mind says something and our intellect says some other thing. So we always try to listen in love with mind most of the time. But if we are firm with our decision, or if you are our conviction is strong, with a strong conviction and good decision making, and what exactly you want, if you know, there is a choiceless awareness arises in our mind. In that case, we will act like a man instead of playing as odds. It happened in my life also sometimes where the lucrative opportunity is tempting that, and then try to step into that work and then execute it. But I always took a back step. Does it really gives me a really gives material happiness, or is it gives me spiritual happiness? So I always choose whether the mental happiness is very important than the material happiness. So I played like a man in such situations instead of going with odds. So that's my take on this topic and you, Toastmaster Tendu.
Thank you so much, Ravan. And again, something that happens almost on a daily basis. Imagine someone praises you. Yo, what a fantastic speaker, man. You, the way you speak, my mind was blown. And you get it going to your head. You stop working on yourself. So your level automatically falls down in the days to come. But the person who was actually praising you is constantly working and improving his or her own skills. This is how you mentally or emotionally manipulate the other human being and put them off their game. So it is extremely important to stay centered and balanced and always be focused on the task, on the path that you are walking on. Otherwise, there are always chances that someone might play you. So we will move ahead. And Nisha has had her hand up. Nisha, are you ready? Would you like to go for
Yes,
the next
please,
topic?
please go ahead.
All right. Nisha, the topic for you is win a no-win situation by rewriting rules. Win a no-win situation by rewriting.
Good morning, Toastmasters. What a great topic. Sky is the limit, and I'm sure I'll achieve it. When we know the rules of the game, we try to play the game. What if we do not know? What if in life we do not actually know the rules of all the game, because we are thrown in situations and we understand what we get to know based on the experience. So there is no teacher. The experience, the failures is only teaching us and making us better. In such situations, when you're pushed to a corner, what do you think will happen to you? Either there are two choices. You can be scared and run away, fear failure. Otherwise, you can face it, face the world with an option. Make sure that you put your best foot forward and come and win the game. That's one thing. Second, imagine you have no clue on what to do. You can still have an option to learn. Learning is winning. Make sure you learn anything and everything or whichever interests you. Please make sure that you add it as part of your daily routine so that you win the ultimate life game. To sum it up, I would say no matter what the game is, if you are at your humility, I mean humility at its best, and also if you think you can do it, you're right. If you think you can't do it, you're still right. So it is up to you, and I would leave the choice to you to make the win better and make it successful. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Nisha. A wonderful take on the topic, rewriting the rules. Really, there are so many different ways to become a good software developer. Someone might take the help of textbooks to get a strong grasp on fundamentals. Someone would just look at the code written by his or her peers and see what they have been doing. For some, it could be open source projects which are out there, and there are hundreds of thousands of open source projects. One could learn coding through them as well. So there are many ways to do a task, to become good at something, or to achieve a goal. It is up to us how we can differentiate our method from others, and that would fetch us different results than others. All right, do we have time for one more, or shall we carry on? It's already 12. We need to go through the general evaluation as well. Cool. All right. So we'll move on now to the general evaluation section. I am so thankful that all of you took a chance at this particular round of table topics, and you did fantastically well. We would now get back to more good, more humble, and more righteous way of conducting ourselves. Listen a little bit more about. Ratan Tata, and I would now hand the virtual stage back to Madam TMOD Deepti.
Thank you so much, Diptendu. Yes. And that brings me to the last, but not the least important core value of the Tata Group, which is unity. When I say unity, It is about investing in people, keeping people at the core and working around it. Not only people, even in their partners. That is where the deep roots come from. Invest in people, invest in partners, enable learning, um, enable collaboration, enable building through relationships. That is the essence of unity. Let me tell you, most of us are from the corporate world here. Even if we are not, we abide by the 40-hour work week. Do you know where did it come from? It came from the Tatas. And this is way back when the Empress Mills, the textile mills were instituted. That's when the Tatas, the chairman in that time, realized that I cannot make my people work endlessly. Yes, there were fixed salaries, but fixed working hours were actually an output of thoughtful thinking. It was that time that there were other important decisions that were done for the welfare of the worker community. The 40-hour work week, accident insurance, provident fund, which we consider our birthright these days in the corporate world, that is a gift from the Tatas to us. Not only that, even the pension schemes that we so enjoy are a birth of that time. So people were always at the center. Remember about the hospital that I spoke? There was also the Tata Center, the Cancer Research Institute, which is of course now handed over to the government and I think is run as a collaboration between the Tata Group and the government. But who instituted or how did it came about being? Through the Tata Group. In fact, in most Tata companies, you will also see a creche in and around the facility for nursing mothers or for mothers or fathers with young children. All this doesn't come as a surprise because this has been a long-standing value. In fact, closer to our living times, let's talk about the 26/11 attacks. We witnessed the most detesting or the abhorrous incident of all times in 26/11 attacks. But at that time, the stories which stand out is that every employee of the hotel thought of it as his duty to save the guests in the hotel, whether it was the chef, the waiter, the receptionist, a guard, even people outside the hotel considered it their duty to do what they could to save the guests in the hotel from that mammoth attack. That is the kind of value system that the Tatas embark or inject into every employee working with them. In fact, it is also said that every employee was given was of course compensated adequately and also given enough time to return from the trauma of handling such a attack. Nobody was penalized. Nobody, in fact, they were nurtured and they were pampered so that they could come back to work happier. And it took a lot of effort in restoring the Taj Hotel. And by the way, let me also share with you that it is, if you ever visit Bombay, please include the Taj Hotel in your list of tourist spots because it's a sight to see. Do you know that the Taj Hotel was built 20 years before the Gateway of India? The baths in the Taj Hotel, the primary or the presidential suites are Turkish baths. So that time Jamshedji Tata traveled across the world to get the best luxuries embedded in this hotel so that he could make the Indian subcontinent stand out and understand what does luxury mean to them. There was a phone in every room at that time. This was the first building to be electrified or have electrical connections. The fans were imported. This hotel was made with a lot of love and care for the Indian public at large. Well, that covers the 5 integral values of the Tata Group: integrity, responsibility, excellence, pioneering spirit, and unity. Now, let us pause for a moment and think, what are the leadership lessons we can take back from every value that we heard about today? Let's first talk about integrity. Let's unmute and share our thoughts. We're all leaders in our own rights, in our own areas. What is the leadership lesson that you would want to take back from a value called integrity?
I
If
can
we
take
look
it. Sorry, please go ahead.
Okay, if we look at integrity point of view, Tata is not specific to one particular region, or it is not limited his presence in one particular region. Its integrity made them to spread across the country as well as across the globe. That's
That's
the
correct,
greatest
Shravan.
value.
Absolutely. So what's the leadership lesson that you would like to draw from integrity
Always
as a
helps to expand ourselves as a human being, as an organization, or
expand
also
our hearts and be
arts.
ethical? Yes.
Ethic.
Yes, Soumya, would you want to contribute?
I guess it's very simple, no? You do the right thing when no one is looking.
Absolutely. Ethical leadership with empathy. Always be kind. That is what the leadership lesson is for us. The second core value, responsibility. What do you think is the leadership lesson there for us? This is where we spoke about the Tatas instituting hospitals. Yes, Nisha, you'd like to say something?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for this opportunity, TMOD.
Hmm.
Responsibility, for example, even in any relationship, like one can be a mother or a father, but to be really a mother or father, you have to actually do it. I would say that it same goes to leadership or taking care of your own people, to the society, giving back.
Absolutely.
So everything in the
Yes.
CSR,
Yes.
what it means that if we
Absolutely.
already have a corporate social responsibility, what we are doing is trying to give it back to the society, what we have gained from them.
That's true, Nisha. And with responsibility, I'd like to say the leadership lesson that I would take back is being accountable. If there's a miss, I am accountable for it. I will take ownership. So responsibility is not only in giving, it is also in taking. So when I'm responsible, I'm accountable. I hold myself for the successes and the failures in equal weight. That's the leadership lesson that we must take back. The third is excellence in passion. What is the leadership lesson that we can take back? Chintan, you very quiet today.
I have my GE section to speak a lot, but excellence in passion is something, a virtue and not a value in life to live by. Whatever we do, we need to ensure that we give it 100%. As I told and talked about perfection, in order to go for it, at least we reach the excellence, and that's the aim for every action we do, and that's what Ratan Tata lived by. So that's what I'm taking.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Chintan, you're very right and bang on. When we talk about excellence, we talk about being passionate as a virtue of life. And in order to achieve or at least strive towards reaching that goal, we will focus on continuous improvement. So the leadership lesson for us is to focus on continuous improvement. In fact, in Ratan Tata's word, he said that ups and downs in life are very important to keep us going because a straight line, even in an ECG, means we're not there anymore. So, yes, that's the leadership lesson that strive for continuous improvement. The fourth, pioneering spirit. What do you think is the leadership lesson that we can take back?
I feel one need to do anything in an innovative way, bring in innovation rather than
Absolutely.
following the run-of-the-mill paths. Chart your
Absolutely.
own path and excel.
Very rightly said, Manoj. Pioneering spirit is all about taking risks, being open to new ideas, embracing change. In fact, there was another quote that I read about in my during my research on Sir Ratan Tata, is that when you take risks, when you're taking decisions, it's a very lonely activity. It is difficult to take decisions, but making those decisions is absolutely important, even if you have to stay alone for a while. So, yes, when you talk about pioneering spirit, you have to be open to change, you have to be open to new ideas, you have to take risks. Last, not the least, unity. What does unity mean to us in terms of leadership? Unity is all about people, having people at the center. So it basically means
I can say
was
what it means to me, Deepthi, with your permission. What it means
yes,
is that if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you're going to go far, then go together.
absolutely. Thank you, Mohit. And that is again, I think, words of this noble reader. Yes, thank you for bringing those words of Sir Ratan Tata to us. Yes, fostering collaboration, going far with teamwork is what leadership lesson we can draw from this. So, yes, ethical leadership with empathy, be accountable, strive for continuous improvement, embrace change and be open to new ideas, and foster collaboration and teamwork. Those are the leadership lessons that we will take away today from the way the Tata Group has worked. Thank you. And while we open the forum for discussion, we would first like to call upon our GE, Toastmaster Chintan, for his report and time for opening up.
Thank you
Thank you.
so much, Toastmaster Dipti. And while discussing all the values, I was quiet because I was contemplating how well it is absolutely aligned to Toastmasters' values: integrity, respect, service, excellence. You talked about passion, excellence, collaboration, and servant leadership. We all are servant leaders in Toastmasters, and Ratan Tata might be the best example of how we can lead in Toastmasters with the mindset of an industrialist, as Diptendu mentioned, that we think about unity in the community and we don't only think about ourselves, but for a larger cause of spreading the power of what we have. I am overjoyed today because it's not only Ratan Tata that I admire, but something else, that our toast table topics master brought suits into the meeting. Now, one thing to share, I had a hard disk only saved for suits, and last to last month I lost it. And I'm paying Geo subscription only for suits. I don't want to see anything else because it's not a series of lawsuits, it's a series of life, the hardcore truths. I thoroughly enjoyed the meeting, and it's time for us to evaluate different sections which we witnessed so beautifully executed, starting with the speech which was given by a wonderful storyteller, Toastmaster Mohit. And we have an equally veteran Toastmaster to evaluate his speech. I welcome on the stage Toastmaster Soumya to give a feedback on the speech delivered by Toastmaster Mohit Sam.
Problems in life will come and go. How you tackle them makes you a differentiator. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters, guests, and my target speaker, Mohit in particular. I found your speech very entertaining and at the same time, it had beautiful takeaways. I would really like to commend you on choosing the title. The title caught my attention. It was very innovative. Secondly, I felt the brilliant use of the stage and body language, which was part of your speech purpose, and you have met that purpose beautifully. Walking in the house, showing the gestures, and your children exclaiming, "Wow, Papa!" Those were the highlights. Thirdly, I had noted that brilliant audience takeaway, how to keep a calm mind, a play mindset, and visualization of the problems. It is said that individuals solve problems, but geniuses prevent it. So I'm going to give a few recommendations which will help you become a genius. First is the tone. In your speech, there were very much, there were few instances where you had role plays, and at one instance, you had your child asking. So use the tone of a child. Papa, do you want to play tongue twisters with us? Instead of your regular voice. That will bring variety in your speech. I also felt that towards the end of your speech, there was fumbles and there were unnecessary pauses. So that is something which you could take care of. And thirdly, the strength, which was your title, I felt it was not used in your speech. That is tying the title with the speech ending, which could actually make it as a tight package. So you could have ended by saying that, life, there could be a lot of tongue twisters, ups and downs, like my speech title. But how you use it by remaining calm, playing mindsets, visualizing would help overcome that. So overall, I felt it was a very catchy title, brilliant use of body and stage, and had a beautiful audience takeaway. Working on your tone, the ending of your speech, and tying the title with the actual ending would have made the speech better. I wish you all the very best in your future speeches. And over to Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Soumya. And one thing I want to share about the evaluation Toastmaster Soumya shared, it had perfect recipe of how an evaluation should be given. He started very rightly with the title. He said what was right. He said what was not so great. Apart from that, he showed that what could be done to improve. That's how to most of, and he did the summary of his entire evaluation. I loved how he made a point of tying the title at the end, repetition of a title like a thread throughout the speech. And as he mentioned, having the modulation when you role play is going to be a cherry on the cake. So I don't have any suggestion or a recommendation on the evaluation, but I commend him for giving an evaluation with all the right ingredients in the right manner. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Soumya. Let's move ahead and hear from someone who has been busy noting down our R's, ums, and noting down the good and bad words. Let's welcome on the stage Toastmaster Ashish Agarwal.
Thank you so much, General Evaluator Toastmaster Chintan. As Toastmaster Soumya rightly said, individuals solve problems, but genius prevent it. Today, we'll take note on what all problems we might have had, which we would love to prevent in the coming meetings. My report is going to be long, so tighten your seatbelt and join me. We had many good usages today, and I think my list is so much full that I had to pick and choose which one to share with all of you. Otherwise, we'll have another 20 minutes on this report itself. So what I'll do, I'll send a snip of this in the chat and also in the WhatsApp, so you guys can go through it at leisure and learn from all the amazing speakers who were on the stage today. I can tell you at the beginning itself, the ahs and ums and so's were so few, that it was really tough time for me to focus on it and try to fish out. So let me start. First, Mohit, getting reprimanded on an empty stomach is really, really bad. You gave us a message which was amazing, buddy. Practicing calmness, being playful, and visualizing the problem. I think the takeaway, the combination of it was very unique and very, very nicely delivered with your story. Amazing. I had super fun. You had just one and you were flawless. Perhaps even that was required in the context of the speech. Coming to our TMOD, she said her tiny shoulders won't be able to do justice, but they were not tiny. They were giant shoulders, Toastmaster Dipti. You did complete justice to it, and you were amazing. Right, starting with a phrase, lo and behold, and telling us what the kind of speaker you are on the stage. You were fabulous, and your TMOD today was indeed epitome of success. And this is the word also which you highlighted to us. Our Toastmaster Dipendu, the full moon. I googled your name's meaning, buddy. Indeed, you are full moon. So bright always. Let your imagination run wild. Hit the nail on the head. Winner don't make excuses when the other side is playing game. Each of your table topic is a phrase to remember. And thanks so much for sharing. So far, I have been away from this series, Suits, but you and Chintan have inspired me, and definitely this is going to be my next watch. Toastmaster Chintan, our very own journal evaluator, is a beacon of hope and humility himself. And that's what he reminded us today and inspired all of us to propel towards our goal in his table topic. I'm sorry. Super job done. You were amazing. Shravan, in your table topic, you shared about the difference between intellect and mind and inspired us to listen to our intellect to follow the right path. Nice message, and kudos to you for stitching it together in a table topic itself. Well done. Manoj can be placed on the same pedestal as Ratan Tata. Placing on the pedestal is a nice usage. You did not have any ahs and ums. Shravan, you had three ands and two buts. I'll cover the other part also. Dipendu, you had just less than two actually ands, so's, and buts. You were very, very fluent, something for all of us to learn. And so was our Toastmaster Dipti, extremely fluent in her message. Coming to Karthik, this is not my cup of tea, but I can tell you, being on the stage is your cup of tea. Come over it again and again. Only filler you need to be careful about is and you used this couple of times, so try and minimize the usage of this one. Nisha, your table topic was more of phrases and speeches put together in a nice way. Extremely well done. Fear failure or face the world with courage. Learning is winning. This one will remain with me for quite long. Soumya, you ended with the individual solve problem, genius prevented. So all of us will try to prevent it. And Soumya, you had just one so, not much of the fillers. To me, even table topics were either using too few fillers or I need to sharpen my ears. But I think former is the case. With regard to the language improvement, someone said that's clearly a fact. That could have been that's a fact. Does it really gives me should have been does it really give me? When we use does, we do not use the s with the verb. Rules of all the game could have been all rules of the game, but today, as I said, the improvement opportunities were far and few. Word of the day was used by Chintan. Word and the phrase of the day were used by Chintan, Dipti, Nisha used it multiple time, and Diptendu. Congratulations for using it. And I was extremely humble taking note of all this point. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ashish. One thing is sure, when he's on the stage is absolute energy. And we felt it through his report. Next on the stage, let's welcome someone who had taken the role of a timer impromptu and who had given a lot to think about by giving us table topics, none other than a wonderful storyteller, Toastmaster Dipten.
Thank you, Toastmaster Chintan. Everyone made good use of time today. There are no disqualifications in any of the sections on account of time. Now, the report that you're going to hear from me is going to give you something to think about. Would you have liked to speak a little more, or do you want to cut down the time that you spoke for? Starting with the prepared speaker for today, Toastmaster Mohit, he took 6 minutes and 49 seconds to deliver his speech. His evaluator, Toastmaster Soumya, delivered the evaluation speech in 3 minutes and 11 seconds. Moving on to table topics, Toastmaster Chintan and Manoj were right at the boundary. Chintan with 2 minutes 24 seconds, Manoj 2 minutes 29 seconds. Karthik and Nisha were the sub 2 minute participants today. Karthik at 1 minute 17 seconds and Nisha at a minute and 55 seconds. While Shravan was like that 270 score India used to make in the early 2000s when Sachin Tendulkar was playing, and he spoke for a good 2 minutes and 15 seconds. So this is my report as the timer. Ponder on whether you would like to cut down the material, the amount of words that you speak. Ponder on whether you would like to even stretch the limit, stretch the envelope and go right up till the end, and make your offering, your speech, your presentation as fine-tuned as possible. With this, I hand it back to Toastmaster Chintan.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Diptendu, for that wonderful report. Now let's discuss how the meeting was as a general evaluator. The meeting started right on the time. I was late. So first thing to keep in mind that come at least few minutes before, and I was the victim of doing the mistake as well. When I entered, that tone was set by Toastmaster Dipti, a pleasant tone, an inspirational tone for the theme which we were about to dive in. So kudos to Toastmaster Dipti for setting the tone, aligned with the theme for today. Next came Toastmaster Mohit. Toastmaster Mohit explained the theme in a subtle way and also emphasized on the collaboration that the club is witnessing today by having 3 clubs. He addressed and mentioned 3 presidents of the clubs and given them the chance to address the audience, and also took the guest introduction, all the points of the correct Toastmaster PO address. So wonderfully done, Toastmaster Mohit. Great way to open the meeting from the Sony house as we are discussing the Tata house. Next came Toastmaster of the day, but I'll come a bit later because I have a lot much to speak and I don't have time. So I'll see how much time would I left with. We then went on to the prepared speech, and we had one and only speech, but it was enough for the day. So Toastmaster Mohit, you had got the correct evaluation, as I already mentioned. Try to work on those points. Just one point to ponder upon what he shared about bringing that title into speech. You had an opportunity at the end to repeat, to ask the audience to repeat that wonderful tongue twister, to bring that title, to bring audience interaction and leave it on a high. That would have been an amazing way to end, but this is just one point of view from my for you to think and ponder upon. Then we moved on to the table topics by none other than Toastmaster Diptendu. As I said, I live by the Harvey mentality. So it was for me a treat. And the speakers who came on the stage, I'll just quickly say, first one was myself. I'm open to the feedback. Toastmaster Manoj, he took a pause and then articulated a wonderful table topic tying to the theme of today's meeting. And he narrated the incident which made an impact in 1 to 2 minutes. Only one thing, Toastmaster Manoj, you had the conviction, you had articulation, and you had narration, but a bit of personalized touch, a bit of personal anecdote could have been much, much more impactful, in my opinion. Second one was guest Kavita or Karthik. Second one was guest Karthik, and after that, Shravan was there. Both of them started saying, give me 2 seconds or few seconds to think about. Rather than what Toastmaster Manoj had done was the right way of taking a pause. Because the first moments, first words which come out of your mouth would be the most impactful words. Both Shravan and Karthik did not grasp the entire topic philosophy, but they took on a topic in their own interpretation and aced the table topic. So keep on speaking. If you had taken a pause, maybe you could have gone into much right direction. The last table topic speaker was guest Nisha. She understood the topic She herself gave a different flavor by introducing the rules of the game. If we are cornered, how we can approach, and gave us a lesson. So kudos to you, Toastmaster Nisha, for giving a wonderful topic. Then we had timer, accounter, and grammarian. As a timer, Diptendu had done a wonderful job showing the cards with precision, giving the report, and introducing the role in a way that we all appreciate him for. A beautiful articulation. Account and then came accountant and grammarian Toastmaster Ashish. Now, Toastmaster Ashish, as I mentioned, always brings the energy. He introduced the role with full energy. He introduced the report with full energy. But here, a minor point to think, Toastmaster Ashish, that while giving your report, you combined everything. You combined the appreciation of the speaker. You then added the account. You added the grammarian part. And somewhere, although I'm having a crazy mind, it was difficult for me to have everything digested. So try to have either a little less energy, although it sounds counterintuitive, or break down your content and take a pause, because we don't have that much capacity to digest your amazing content, and we would love to savor those words a bit more. Then let's discuss about the Toastmaster of the day. Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Dipti. What could I say? You had done research. You had studied the Tata Group of the history with the facts, with statistics. You sprinkled the personal anecdotes, your voice, your modulation. When you were getting chat comments, you addressed those. You embedded those and made the strings of words in a way that felt like a prepared content. So wonderful way you did full justice to the role of a Toastmaster of the day, and you truly made a tribute to the legacy of Ratan Tata. One small point I want to make for you is, as we were approaching at the end, you asked us all what you took out of all the values. I felt if you had asked in the beginning that what values you have seen in Ratan Tata, because in guest introduction, we have seen many people came in seeing Ratan Tata. They would have got engaged much more. They would have gotten the chance. And at the end, you could not have gone a bit over the time. So balancing that aspect of audience engagement would have been cherry on the cake, but nothing more to say. It was a wonderful meeting, and it's a privilege for me to be a general evaluator of today's meeting of having three clubs, including one of the Tata's own TCS. And thank you, everyone. I hand over the stage back to presiding officer or the Toastmaster. Which one? Let's hear something for a few seconds from Toastmaster of the day, and then she'll hand it over to the presiding officer. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you. Thank you for a detailed evaluation, Chintan. Like always, your pearls of wisdom falling for each one of us. Thank you. Well, this is the concluding segment. And because we have people from the Tata Group, I think it is my honor to invite you on the podium and share any anecdotes from your journey at Tata's, which has touched your heart and which could possibly touch our hearts too. To begin, let me share my journey in a brief um, 30-second this thing. When I was working at TCS, I'd conceived our first baby, my son. And I remember that after I had completed my maternity, I needed more time. It was the then HR who suggested to me that you submit a medical leave. Get it signed by your doctor, submit a medical leave, you'll get an extended one. That is the humility, and that is the people centeredness which Tata shows, even to any employee that is there. Anybody else? The stage is open for any personal anecdote that you've experienced. In fact, why only working at Tata Group? We also use Tata products. So any experiences that anybody would like to call out in
I want to share something. Although
yes,
I
Ratan.
touched upon the nano part, I want to share that imagine Tata being in his car, observing the family of four and thinking about them making a car. And in return, what he got. As a society, we thought that he made the cheapest car and we rejected his innovation of more than 100 patents. So sometimes as a society, as an individual, we also need to feel from the perspective of who's giving what to us and then appreciate. Because the humility factor of Tata is he accepted it was his failure. Although it was not his, it was the society's failure to identify the gift which he had given. And most of the times we remember and appreciate the gifts when the person or the condition or the situation has gone. So try to give an ode to the person who are there in the surrounding of us and let's celebrate everyone and whatever they
That's
give
true,
to us
Chetan.
as a gift rather than a failure.
Absolutely. In fact, it is a very popular quote which says that we judge others by their behavior and ourselves by our intentions. So let's change that statement and start observing the intention of others as well as ponder upon our behaviors. Yes, Toastmaster Soumya.
So it's never been about money for the group. As a matter of fact, TCS, and Dipti would know as TCS, it's a very conservative company. I mean, the pay is nothing you write home about, but what they believe in is being honest and upfront with their clients. And I have used a lot of Tata products. We have used Tata Photon, or we have used Tata Docomo. If you look at the pricing, the pricing was always very sensitive to the market, and they never claimed that they have the highest speed at that point of time. Tata Docomo came, then they had Tata Photon, then Tata Photon Plus, and things like that. You know, they were very truthful about what they could deliver.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's always been, when I went to my, village and I told my Mosi, my, aunt that I have joined Tata Consultancy Services, she didn't know what Tata Consultancy Services was. But then I said, I joined Tata. Then she knew, Tata, it's very good. So that brand, we might not know Tata Elxsi, I work with Tata Elxsi or I work with this, but they know Tata, and they our grandparents, our elders who might not know about the new line of businesses but know the brand, what it stands for, and it stands for trust.
Absolutely, absolutely. Very well said, Soumya. Yes, Harish.
Hi, Dipti. I'm joining you from Dubai right now. The very fact, the theme of the meeting was stories of Ratan Tata. I mean, that attracted me. I was GT 19 when I joined Tata's. After my engineering, I was in the Pune plant. And the third year, when I left the company, that was the year probably Ratanji took over the helm of affairs. There is something special about this word Tata. There is this word Tata will never allow you to say goodbye to that place or that person. The very fact, the theme mentioned about Ratan Tata, I joined this session for a simple reason that you cannot erase the memories of this wonderful place, the alma mater of my professional career. That was a year when we joined, and the most nearest I went to meet Tata was after spending 3 years. Few of my ex-GTE colleagues had applied for some American universities, and they were not getting scholarship. Working in Tata's, we had approached Tata Trust to sponsor our visit. And the The applications were sent to Ratan Tata's office, and he welcomed the GTs who were working there. And two of my ex-colleagues got a scholarship to New Jersey Institute of Technology, and they went and completed their MS. I was always wondering how HR would take this, but HR said in Tata philosophy, it is always to groom a person because the name Tata goes with him across the overseas, and that person who has left just because of such financial help will always remember the deeds and the charity done by this group. Hats off to this guy.
Absolutely.
It was indeed an
Absolutely.
Anmol Ratan we lost.
Yes, that's true. And there's so many stories. And while I was preparing for this session today, I was living through those 3 or 4 years that I spent at TCS. Like any other corporate, I had a disconnect with my manager, my immediate manager, and we had a lot of heated arguments only until to a point when I actually escalated it to a skip level manager. The difference in the way my skip level manager handled it was that she called for a threesome meeting. Never in my career have I had a threesome meeting before. So here's my manager, here's me, we're sitting in front of it. That is the first time she's interacting with both of us and she's asking us about the disconnect. So there was no scope of making or building stories behind each other's back. It was all there in front of her. And we walked out shaking hands, maybe in an agreement of disagreement. That's the way we walked out. So that was the ethical way in which a tense situation was handled. And we kept working. I continued the company for a good over a year after that. Came back after my maternity, continued working. But that's the kind of behavior that they have in their DNA and they trickle it down. Um, yes, Shravan, I'll come to you, but I need to take a pause and ask Mohit if he's ready with the results. We have
Yes, I am ready with the results based on the inputs that I've got. Yes.
Thank you. So the virtual podium is yours, Mohit. Please go ahead and share the results. We'll talk to you soon, Shravan.
Sure. Thank you, Deepthi. What a wonderful session we've had. And truth be told, when we were preparing for this, we were a little skeptical whether we would be able to live up to the name, the big name that we have in front of us. But I think thanks to all of us, and I would like all of you to switch on your videos and let's congratulate all of us for being able to do our bit to the man, the Ratan of India. So a huge round of
Groupie
applause
time.
for everyone. Yeah, and especially Deepthi for you to pull this all so gracefully.
Thank you. Diptendu, Nisha, let's just quickly come for a group fee. Thank you, Vinay.
Right. There's a lot that we are taking back. There are lots of lessons to take back home today. And I especially like that ad that you had shared about Tata Steel. And I thought, let's make an attempt. And I tried to put together a little version that we can create for ourselves as a vision from that little ad. So here it goes. We bring hope. We stand shoulder to shoulder. Together we move towards success. We bring all diverse groups together. And by the way, we also make leaders and communicators. And now for the results. Our speaker for the day, there was only one speaker, so it goes to me. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. And the best evaluator goes to Toastmaster Soumya. Thank you, Soumya, for evaluating my speech. A lot to learn and apply. The best table topic speaker today goes to Toastmaster Chintan. Huge round of applause for Chintan. And we will be sharing the pictures with you offline. And the best auxiliary role player today goes to the grammarian of the day, Toastmaster Ashish. And that leaves us with the best role player of the day. And do I need to tell you that? Huge round of applause for Toastmaster Deepthi. All right, with that, we come to the end of this amazing session. And Deepthi, you wanted to conclude, so I'll hand it over to you before we do a final close.
Sure. Thank you. A lot has been said. It's now time to put it to action in our own little way. The culture of the organization we lead, whether it's no matter whether it's big or small, comes from the top. Let us try and live the values, create values for ourselves, and live a life which brings a culture of faith, of being ethical, of being accountable, and which strives to improve continuously. Thank you. With that, we conclude this for feedback, a quick feedback if anybody would like to share. Shravan, please.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Deepthi, for coming up with this fantastic thought. And it's like a personality, Mr. Ratan Tata. I did my MBA project on Tata things. While I was doing that, I had gone through the philosophy and everything. Got an idea to what exactly. I was part of TCS and for 20 years, 25 years. Nowadays, everybody is jumping for every 2 years. I was really wondered. The reason behind that, I come to know when I was studying, doing the assignments for the MBA project. The DNA, as you rightly said, the DNA of the company, the spirit of the company. Earning money is not a big thing in nowadays. Anybody, even without any graduation, can earn money, and they can claim that we are richest or rich people. But earning money in a proper way, in a professional way, is very difficult. So what I understood from the TCS and the Tata Group, the people dedicated their lives to this organization, is the reflection of that we are industrialists, not the businessmen. Of the words of Mr. Ratan Tata, I really mean it. So I was inspired with this organization and the way it is working. But still, there are some mistakes. But because we are not aligned to the philosophy of that organization, not every employee can align. So I hope everybody will align and make this organization a global organization forever. Thank you, and over to you, Toastmaster Dev.
Thank you, Shravan. Actually, sorry to intervene, but that also reminds me something that I heard recently. When the Titan group was being launched, then one of the employees who was part of that launch meeting, they've shared their experience and they said that it felt like it is our company. Everyone who was present there felt that it was my own company. So that feeling, to bring in that culture, that kind of feeling itself says a lot about the man at the helm. So thank you, Shravan, for sharing that. Thank you, Deepthi. We would love for the discussion to go on and on, but time is definitely a constraint and we need to respect that. So thanks once again. And unless you have any other thing to say, Deepthi, we would really like the meeting to come to a close now. Thank you and see you all next week.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
everyone. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.